NFL 23 on EA Sports. And up next is Demario Davis. He put up numbers last week with a 9-tackle performance.
It's the Saints and the Bucs, and it's coming up next.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Gaudge alongside Charles Davis. And CD, you look at the Bucs in this matchup. It's a relatively balanced offense. The next-gen stats kind of bear that out. What do you think they'll be looking to do in this one?
I think it'll be exactly what you just talked about. They'll want to be balanced on offense, which means to them, they'll want everyone involved. See if they can get some one-on-ones in the passing game. Maybe identify some situation where they can swing the ball to the backs in space. Even find some spots where they just want to play some old-fashioned power football. As one of the most successful coaches in the league told us once, the definition of balanced offense, that means you can do what you want when you want to, not necessarily just running it 50% of the time and throwing it the same percentage.
The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. And here come the Saints, about to begin their first possession. And the man in charge of this offense, his 8th season now in the NFL, former #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
It was terrible to see Jameis Winston suffer his torn ACL last season because he had the Saints rolling in his first year running the show in New Orleans. They went 5-2 in his starts, and they were just 4-6 after he was injured. And how about this? He only threw 3 interceptions, really addressing the big concern people had from his time as a starter in Tampa. New Orleans, they plan to roll with him for a second season and hope that last year's performance will carry over in a full season.
Jameis going to look to throw right away. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And he'll be out right at the 35. A good start. 1 play, 10 yards.
Time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Meanwhile, Winston's throw complete there to Johnson. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give him a short yardage situation here for second down. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 22 carries, 118 yards.
So coming off the opener where they established the run and established the ground, their goal is to make sure that the trend continues and to serve notice to the rest of the league that they might be a run-first team.
Jameis now on first down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. The Bucs and Saints expected to possibly be the two to slug it out for the NFC South title in 2022. The Saints have had the Bucs number pretty much since the arrival of Tom Brady, at least in the regular season. They're 4-0 against Tampa Bay the last 2 seasons in the regular season. But remember, when Tampa won the Super Bowl, they did defeat New Orleans en route to the... And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. That's Akeem Hicks, the towering NFL vet, coming in for the sack.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 20. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Well, for a little bit, we thought his story had concluded, but not to be. Here's Tom Brady in his 23rd NFL season, leading the Bucs offense out once again.
And he comes off a tough opening matchup. Threw way too many interceptions in that game. Definitely not the way you want to kick off a new season. So he said to himself, I've got to throw that game out. I'm going to get a fresh start right here in week 2.
Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. The LSU man, Leonard Fournette, born right here in New Orleans. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Brady. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Tyler Higbee. The numbers for him from a week ago. 7 catches, 90 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. The Buccaneers had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And right now they're probably asking, hey, who did we offend in the scheduling office? Back-to-back road games to start the season.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll bet someone called the league office to protest, but sometimes it just shakes out that way. But if they can get out of this with a split, knowing they'll get those home games later in the season, it could be quite an advantage for them if they take care of business now.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Fournette. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. This defense for the Saints, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And, boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. 4th down, so Jake Camarda is out there. Back deep, a Louisiana native, Jarvis Landry. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. Play fake. Winston. On the check down, he finds Kamara. Only able to gain a couple there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Winston throw complete there to Thomas. And he gets up near the 25 to about the 24 before going out of bounds. Winston to Thomas, and it's a New Orleans 1st down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it, a really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Winston to Thomas there for the Saints first down.
All-pro receiver Michael Thomas missed all of 2021 while recovering from an ankle injury. But we'll never forget that he set an NFL record in 2019 with 145 catches. When healthy, borderline unguardable, just like he was on that play.
First down, Winston. And a dangerous throw there on the drop-off. Incomplete, nearly intercepted.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. Over the middle, into the hands of Michael Thomas. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Open man is Michael Thomas. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He's already topped his receiving output from a week ago, and we're just in the first quarter as that's a first down. 3rd and 4, he did just enough. I mean, just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. That one on the guard, Cesar Ruiz.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 2nd and 12, Winston. Incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Winston. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And to the 49-yard line, but no further, and obviously he is well short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. We're scoreless after 1. Ready for the 2nd quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. Blake Gillikin on a punt here as he'll send this one away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Week 2 underway around the NFL, and a reminder that later tonight it'll be Chicago and Green Bay in the Packers home opener, the 101st season of that great rivalry. They had the 100th anniversary last year. And then tomorrow night, a treat, a Monday night doubleheader, Tennessee and Buffalo, 7:15 Eastern, and then Minnesota and Philly kicking off a little over an hour later. That's complete to his tight end, Higbee. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Brady's throw on third down there is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's fourth down. Jake Camarda sent on now to punt this away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Now Landry. Now a hit and a loose football. How does the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here? Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
On 2nd and 9, Winston. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. So the completion good for just 3. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Winston. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
Well, obviously, the pass rush gets the glory and the statistics on this play, but the coverage, they deserve a ton of credit, too. Denied open windows, erased the quarterback's targets one by one. Everywhere he looked, someone was covered. Only a matter of time before someone got there to bring him down. I absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And, partner, I know so far, and we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
Well, you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard. I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
Well, I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something maybe they haven't seen before. Coaches always talk about unscouted looks. Maybe you give them something that they haven't seen on tape, and now you shock them that way. The second, run your basic playbook, but run it so well that you give your skill position guys a chance to make big plays individually.
And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Brady now on 1st down. That's caught left side. It's Higbee, the tight end. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
They'll run it here to Burrow.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw, it's Brady. This one complete to Giovanni Bernard. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now a carry for Bernard. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Throwing on 2nd down, Brady, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Brady now to throw. He's going to drop this one down to Bernard. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 32-yard line. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Brady now on 1st down. They'll swing this out to Fournette. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder coming up at halftime. We'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Again, they'll throw with Brady. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this rule because a lot of times they'll take the block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Now a play fake. Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. Here's Bernard. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Brady to throw. Complete to Jones. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, if you do read man covers, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Now Brady. And able to find Higbee. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on third down. So another third down conversion, and now they've got a first and goal. From the gun, it's Brady. Caught on the slant. That'll bring up second and goal after the gain of 5. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Territory here, and he's alone in the backfield on second and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle, and that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Succop's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. Let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in the first half for Tampa Bay. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there. In a game where 1 field goal is all these offenses could muster in the first 2 quarters, you figure both coaching staffs were needing to make plenty of adjustments. And for the call of the second half, we send it back out to Brandon Godden.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Thanks. Hey, we could use a touchdown. 3-0 as we welcome you back in. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. So here are the Bucs to take over on offense. They're trying to get back on track. They had the loss last week to the Dallas Cowboys. The good news, they've got the lead right now. Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And he'll begin with a give to Fournette to start the drive. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Brady's throw, it's complete into the hands of Higbee. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Throwing on first down is Brady. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
gain of 16 yards.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now Brady. Open man is Higbee, the tight end. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. Now Bernard. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to small up the ball carrier.
New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for 3rd. Working from the gun, it's Brady. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Inside handoff now to Fournette. They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Like, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Brady going to throw. Caught on a slant. Touchdown. Tyler Higbee. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bucs take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point put through by Succop. And the lead grows to 10-0.
Ryan Succop to kick off for Tampa Bay.
Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They make their 2nd half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. So now it's a 2-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realized what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that can make this a 3-possession game.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Flush to his right. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And past the 40. before he's out of bounds. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Jameis to throw it. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Mike Edwards picks it off. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Shotgun now for Brady. That's complete. Bernard. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Fournette running out of the gun. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no comeback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Brady looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Here's Brady. Right back to Chris Godwin. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Things looking much rosier for him here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Bernard. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And they will not have time to get another play in here as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th. To throw on 2nd and 6. Brady. The quick slant caught. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Chris Godwin, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the fourth quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Extra point up and good by Succop. And that makes our score 17-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's Chris Godwin who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Here's Winston. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The offense on 3rd down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Now, no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Again, it's Winston. Complete over the middle to Hardy. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
3rd and short yardage. Winston looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
A 1st down throw for Winston. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really, it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth-quarter lead. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Up the gut, Fournette to about the 26 here. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Brady. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Brady looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Hard throw, incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
So Brady departs, and on is Ryan Succop for the Buccaneer field goal. From the left hash, this from 37. Succop's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. From the gun, Winston finds Hill on the crossing route, complete. 7 yards there and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Winston. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet.
Shaq Barrett's motor just keeps on running in Tampa Bay. Another 10 sacks for him in 2021. He's up to 37 in 3 seasons with the Buccaneers.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Winston. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 34-yard line. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nope. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Joe Tryon from that outside linebacker spot gets in there. It's a loss of 9.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Thomas. Now Winston on 4th down. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Buccaneers defense holds and they get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Demario Davis there on the stop.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Fournette on the counter. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Oh, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Buccaneers, they did what they needed to do. They split their first 2 road games of the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers.